into the Dragons. Three teams left. I predicted them to come 14th. They came 11th. So on that note, fair play to the Dragons. But ultimately, I don't. Similar to, well, they've given some young players some experience, which I think is important. But if I was a Dragons fan right now, I don't think I'd be filled with confidence. Where I think Brisbane and maybe even the Cowboys could be a little bit more buoyed by their finishes to the season. I think the way the Dragons finished out the season was really disappointing. I know that whole barbecue incident had a huge bearing on their season. I don't think that can be ignored. The way they started, though, it must be a cultural thing. Like, I don't know how hectic their pre-seasons are or what they do during the season, but that's definitely, there's got to be a review into that. There's been about 3 or 4 seasons where they've been one of the best teams out of the gates like they were this year, and they just fall away. And this was probably one of their biggest fallbacks, I would have to say. I think the difference between their first half and second half of the season was incredible. Most valuable player, I'm giving it to Ben Hunt. I don't know. I feel like in the first half of the season, a lot of people were singing his praises, and I think everyone sort of jumped off that bandwagon. But I think this was genuinely one of his best seasons of all time. He averaged over 100 meters running as a halfback. Like, that's awesome. Special mention to Matt Duffy. Didn't play. Sort of fell out of favour once they realised he was moving on and they started playing like Sloan and stuff. But I still think when he played, there was a strong correlation to victory. Most improved, I've given it to Ben Hunt. I think he was a bit of a liability ever since he's been at the Dragons, but this year really stepped up. Best young player, hard to pick because Zach Lomax didn't play many games this year, so shout out to him. It would have been him if he played all games, but I'll give it to Blake Laurie, starting prop. Didn't really kill it, but a young starting prop with potential, and he's playing decently. Rating out of 10. Based on my prediction, I should give them above par score, but sort of just the way they went about their season, I think they ended up only being 2 points ahead of 13th. I could be wrong, ahead of the likes of the Tigers. I'm going to give them a 5 out of 10. As I mentioned, based purely on the stats that they came 11th, I predicted 14th. They probably should get a 6, but I'll give them a 5. I just don't think their fans would be buoyed with confidence. They've got some exciting talent coming through, but I think the next couple of years could be lean years for the Dragons. But we'll see. We'll see how good of a coach Anthony Griffin is in the next couple of years for sure.
It's a miracle! Oh, yeah! What about that one? Unbelievable! Balotelli, Aguero! Crowd cheers. Here's Siddle.